game. Bears +9 in LA. Probably be a home game because the Chargers have no fans except for that one fan that the NFL pays. Bears +9 in LA.
Thank you for saying it. That's all I want to talk about her too. I'm so annoyed at that coverage, dude. Enough of it. I'm glad that's all you have to say about it.
No, it's funny. Chargers -8.5 or -9 with 57% of the bets and 46% of the money, giving the Bears an 11% sharp edge. Agent looks pretty good, Andy.
I'm pointing at myself here. I'm 3-0 on closing line value here because I got the Bears at +9.5, and I got the over at 44.5. It's now 46.5. So I feel good about it.
Started out weak back with CLV, but now you're getting it.
My first 3 weeks, I think, or 2.5, maybe 3, were so bad for CLV. But yeah, the last 5 now, I've been doing really well on the closing line value, and it was showing until last week. But yeah, here's my thing with this game, Deej, and feel free to agree, disagree, whatever. But Chargers defense is abysmal. I'm pretty sure they allow some of the most yards total in the league. They also are not great. Or they're not great against teams that like to run the ball. They're like below average, but right around that average range. They're really bad against teams that love to pass the ball. And it seems like Tyson here is not afraid to throw the rock. And it shows like DJ Moore is starting to gain some confidence. He's starting to look better. The Bears as a whole, right? They're passing the ball a bit more than they were at the beginning of the season. I think he's got some weird swagger to him, dude. He's got some Division II swagger to him, doesn't he? It's something about him.
Yeah, he's looking good.
The Bears fans like him too. The Chargers, on the other hand, they get an absolute blessing. This is a blessing for them defensively, where Herbert props the moon. His passing total is at 277.5, I believe.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. I'm going to double check it while I let you talk just before, so I can make sure I give out the most accurate number here. But I love adding Herbert as well to my official plays. I already have the Bears +9.5, and I've got the over. I got all kinds of stats and stuff on happyhoursports.net. Go to my early best bets piece. I got a ton of stuff on this game because just looking at it when I was looking at it Sunday night, there wasn't a ton that popped out to me. But this game, I was like, no way the total's that low. And sure enough, I mean, people were with me. That total's starting to push up, and I'm sure that it will move up a bit more as the week progresses. But yeah, give me Herbert over 263.5 passing yards as another play for 1 unit.
Yeah, I like the Bears, and I'll get into that in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk about is the total. The Chargers defense blows, the Bears defense blows. And usually, I mean, that is a good indication to back the under. However, because Vegas set the total higher, I think the record is when two bad defenses play, it's like 56 and 30 something towards the under. So that trend aside, I don't think that necessarily matters here because you're getting a very high potent offense with a bad defense on both sides. Aside from those numbers, the Bears are 6-1 to the over this year. I'll back it again, Andy. Just what we talked about with the Chiefs and public betting on the over. When the public has been on the over in Bears games, they're 5-1 this year. So, and the public is right now on the over. Obviously, the Bears are 6-1 to the over themselves. So, people love to back overs in Bears games, but I think this is a great spot.
Over general.
For a Sunday night over. However, moving to the spread, I think 9 points is egregious for how bad this Chargers defense is. Yes, their offense is great. However, it's not like the Bears offense can't score points. It's the Bears defense that can't keep them in games. So I love just the 9 point dog in a game where it's not even going to feel like it's an away game because of I think the Bears fan base is phenomenal. You're into LA where it feels like neither the Rams nor the Chargers ever have a home game. You got an 11% sharp differential toward the Bears right now. This is a good spot. I wouldn't say I love it. I'm not going to say I bet it right now, but this is a side that I'm definitely looking towards in the Bears. So yeah, that's what I'll say for the Sunday night game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't disagree with any of that.
Cool. let's finish off. This episode comes out every Friday. And, we talk about the unique public betting trends that only we talk about in Habs. So thank you guys for tuning in and listening. And as always, let us know on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, now that we post these to YouTube, what your comments are, what you think, if you want to hear things differently. But yeah, thanks for listening to us blabber about sports, and we'll see you next week when we talk about our wins. Right, Andy?
For sure. And be sure to check out our new UFC podcast, Pilsners and Prelims. You can catch myself and Rick on that podcast, releasing every Wednesday whenever there's a UFC card. So we had a preview out for UFC 294. Nothing this week because there's no UFC card, but we will have the UFC Sao Paulo card coming out on Wednesday. So take some of these winnings from NFL and start to get ready to put them on the UFC fight night. That's going to be in Brazil. It should be a lot of fun. And Rick and I our Sundays and Mondays are overloaded now with research since we record on Tuesday. So can't wait to hear y'all's reactions to that. I know a lot of people have been asking us for MMA content. Where had the UFC write-ups gone? Where has this been for UFC? Because we had a pretty big UFC presence last year and early this year. But we are back in podcast form. Be sure to find us on wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as on YouTube. Subscribe to Happy Hour Sports on YouTube. Hopefully you guys are watching us on YouTube right now, because I think DJ and I are both having a great hair day. So be sure to check us out. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us any feedback you got. And last but not least, the boys bet better with beer.